Paul, let me get you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Head over here, please.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, here. Yes.
No,
Like this? Okay.
yes.
Back a little bit.
Okay, so we finished our takedown, we got our pass, we ended up in this good, high side control. You've heard me talk about before, controlling the hip like this. This is not as superior of a position with hip to hip here, because the difference is you can get a frame in this type of side control. And we have this nice high side control with that both arms isolated. He can't get either of his frames in here. So even if he tries to get on his side and hip escape, try to get on your side and hip escape. I'm just riding him, and I'm connecting my hip still to his ribs. Compared to being down here, which you can get his frame in. So I connect here and here. I have good control of the shoulder line and head line here. Let's re-straighten out.
Yes.
Boom. We're here. We're here. One thing I haven't talked about, if we get into this nice position and we have this arm isolated, we can start attacking right now without transitioning to the mount if we want to. We know anytime we have this arm isolated, we can start to walk our body weight across. An arm bar. Even if he hugs, hug my head. Even if he hugs, we can still isolate this arm, hop up to knee on belly. Today though, I want us to focus on just controlling all the positions. Specifically now we're going to transition to the mount. So once we have this good, tight side control, give him a little pressure for a minute, make him start to dread this shoulder pressure. Start to wear him down a little bit. What I do next is take this knee and put it in his hip line. You can't see it right now, but my foot stays active on his hip the whole time. So it's not like I just bring my foot up and all loosey-goosey like this. I keep my foot active. Boom. Now what I'm gonna do is use my shin as a rolling pin and roll my whole shin down his legs. The biggest problem that I see is people either drive with their knee only or they just drive with their ankle only. Either of those is gonna end up getting you caught in side control, or half guard, sorry, excuse me. It's gonna get you caught in half guard. So we need to move our whole shin as one unit, roll down his legs. As I roll down his legs, I'm also still squeezing here and stretching his jaw out with the shoulder pressure as well. So I'm just flattening him out completely. Boom. It doesn't have to be fast. I see too many people, they want to go all quick and be hasty about it. This is a slow pressure pass where, boom. Take your time. Get all the way down to his knee line before you try to flop this foot over. Because if you get lazy and only get halfway up his thigh and try to flop over, it will catch your foot. You're back into quarter guard. So, shoulder pressure, drive, drive, drive. Boom, down into the slow mount. I like to grapevine here for a second, control the position. Once we have this position controlled, your finishes are dependent on what you really like. You have this arm isolated and you also have the head wrap. So that gives you two main options that I like to use. One is the straight arm lock on this isolated arm. How I do that is I start to move my body weight to the side here, and then I start to come across diagonally to stretch this arm out. And then again, we just want to have this just above his elbow. If we go past his elbow, arm lock isn't there anymore. Here, you can connect to your bicep, try to get all the way to the end of the lever, because if we go here, he'll start to turn his thumb and stuff, and now it's not as effective. But if I go all the way and grab at the end of the lever here, now whatever way he turns his thumb, I can just follow and push it that way. Or I can even, if I grab a hold like this, try to turn your thumb. Not happening. So now we got a good arm lock. However, like I said, when we end up in this mount right here, we also have the head wrap, which leaves open for the Ezekiel right here. We can even hide the Ezekiel by putting our ear, sweaty ass ear, on his eye. Boom. And actually, can you walk us through all of your small details on the Ezekiel, Paul?
Yes, sir. here, all right? So again, like we said, you put that in there, he can't see what you're doing. What I like to do is when I swim in here, look how I'm grabbing my collar, 4 fingers in. A lot of guys make a fist right away, but it's hard to get in. So what I do is I go knife hand, I go in. Once I get to the throat, then I make my fist. And I turn away from the choke. See how that is? I'm still here. Nice and easy. I'm turning away.
When he does that, he keeps this arm that's on my head wrapped, he keeps this on the mat at a 90-degree angle as he straightens this arm out.
Yeah, this arm doesn't move this one down here. So again, when we do it, because if you do this, watch how Clay could click. So I start doing this, now it's not as effective. Thanks, sir.
Any questions? So kind of start, if you want to work on the arm bar from side control, you can kind of mess around with that, isolate it. Once you have the good side control, start messing around with the mount, just start working on your finishes. We got about 5 minutes.
One thing that Clay brought up that I always mess up is don't have head to head when you do the Ezekiel. Get your head off the center line of Clay's head.
Yes.
One of the things I forgot. to say.
While we're talking about that, anytime you're in mount me. So anytime your head is in line with them, you're at risk of being bump and rolled. So boom, our heads are in line. Boom. But take your head off the line. Boom. That puts anytime your head's off, you're on a diagonal. Your weight is diagonally across your body. That's harder to bump and roll. Now if I try to bump and roll, not happening. So anytime you have a mount, never go head to head. You're gonna get bump and roll. It's always on a diagonal, be a wet blanket on top. All right.